Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Lahn Awakening Skill Guide. This is going to assume that you have been playing the game for a very long time. So for Xbox players, this will be the guide for you. If you've been playing for a long time, you just don't know what to do with your skill points. You just don't know what skills are important. This will be the guide for you. And for PS4 players, you will eventually use this as a reference guide. This video could be used to help you in your journey when you first get awakening. I don't know how long you guys will have to wait until you get awakening, but this will always be a great guide for you. Um, so yeah, let's get started. So first and foremost, I want to say this is my opinion. So a lot of people may have different opinions on what skills they should use and shouldn't use, and so we're just gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna tell you what skills that you should use and shouldn't use, and why you shouldn't use them or whatever. But yeah, so let's get started with awakening. I always want to start with awakening. You always want to put points into your awakening before you put points into pre-awakening. So soul raid is our range grab. You want to put a skill point into this. This is the skill that starts off all your combos. Blood moon twist, I kept this. I didn't put a skill point into this yet. I kept it. I kept it. You know, I didn't put any skill points into it. It does add DP plus 10 for 10 seconds. I just didn't like it in my kit for the time being. But eventually I will use it in the future when I have a lot more skill points left over. Earthly Pain, I kept this at level 1. It's a good skill, but there are other abilities that are better. It does have HP recovery plus 35 per good hit. It's a good skill. You can keep it at level 1. It when I have enough skill points left over, I will eventually put skills into this, but for now we're just going to keep it at level 1. Flailing Blades, so this is your attack speed skill. It's a good stun. It stuns on good hits, I believe. It's very interesting skill. It's a way to get close to your opponent, but it's also very risky to use. But other than that, it's a great skill. It does give you attack speed plus 10%. I believe at max level it gives you plus 15%, which is very good. So I maxed this skill out. Bloody Stride is our forward dash. You want to max this skill out. Eradication, you want to skip this skill. Don't put a skill point into it. It's not good. Just don't use it. You can see it's a long skill to use. It's not safe. It doesn't have a super armor. It's just don't use it. Phantom Dance is your side dash, your iframe, and it's also a super armor. So this is a very good skill to have. So for PS4 players, you've been playing Lahn Awakening, pre-awakening for so long, and you're kind of limited in what you can do. Well, you'll finally get this at Awakening. You will really love the class. It's very great. So you want to put a skill point into that. Taunting Death, all AP plus 6. You want to put a skill point into that. When you put a skill point into that, you get Flow Mangler. It's a very good skill. You want to put a skill point into that. Taunting Death, you want to just max this out. When you have enough skill points to do so, you eventually want to max out all the skills that I'm going to tell you to max out. Deadly Dance, great skill. This is similar to Blooming Netherflower. This is like a faster version of it. So yeah, you can knock people down with it. It has an air smash, air attack. It's a great skill. Max it out. Broader Despair, this is also part of our combo. You want us to put a skill point into that. Bleeding Hearts, great skills, also part of the combo. You want to put a skill point into that. You will get a flow with Furor. So flow Dancing with Death, you want us to put a skill point into this. It's also part of our combo. Very good skill. It knocks down as well. It's pretty good. And you also recover HP with it too. It's very good skill. For you want to max this out. Tailspin. Now, when you unlock Tailspin, you will get Vice. Now, Vice is a very good skill. It's very important. So you want to get to level 59 so that you can utilize this skill. You would do more damage when you have this skill. So it's very important to have this skill. I personally have this skill on my wing menu. I like using it by itself. It's one of those skills that you have to use after a skill. So in order to activate Vice, you have to use Tailspin. So it's not alone. It's not a skill that you can use alone. So you have to use Tailspin to use Vice. So I put Vice on my wing menu so that I can use it alone by itself if I want to just, you know, use it for the damage and whatnot. So you want to put a skill point into that, and then you want to max out Tailspin. Alright, so eventually you do want to put some skill points into Blood Moon Twist and Earthly Pain when you have a lot of skill points. Alright, moving on to Pre-Awakening. Pendulum Cleaver. I maxed this out. It is your attack speed buff. You want to max it out. And it also comes with an absolute. So if you have enough skill points for it, you want to absolute it. Bladed Blood. This is also another skill that's on your wing menu. It's a great skill. If you watch my previous video, you will understand that this skill is very good. I will skip skills that I don't put skill points into because I don't think it's worth talking about them. But yeah, so yeah, Primo Sprint. You want to put a skill point into that, and eventually you want to ultimate it. Decemberment, just like Pendulum Cleaver, is our AP buff, so you want to put skill points into that. I believe at max level it's +6, so when you absolute it, you will get +8 AP for 10 seconds, so the extra 2 points is great. I would put skill points into that. Furious Chase is personal preference, really. It's a gap closer. I use this skill a lot to close the gap or to run away. Very good skill. I use it to, you know, stiffen my target. You can choose not to put any skill points into it, but other than that, I maxed it out and eventually I absolute it. Stating Dignity is our W recovery plus 150 upon using skill, and it's our super armor and our attack range up. It's a very good skill. I maxed it out. Pendulum Kick. So pre-awakening PS4 players, you guys use this skill a lot. You're just not going to put any more skill points into it. When you get awakening, it's just not useful anymore. Eye to Phoenix, I maxed this out. It's a stun. It's very useful. I use it after Furious Chase. Very good skill to use. And I also absoluted it. You want to get Nimbus Stride. This is our flying ability, so you definitely want to put some points into that. Now, I did not put any points into Nimbus Stride number 3 because the movement distance between level 2 and level 3 are not much of a big difference. You don't really notice it. It's just like one step, and it's not, you know, necessary. But when you have enough skill points, you have a lot of skill points left over, you can eventually put a level into this. This extends our Nimbus Stride skill. You definitely want to pick that up. Salpuri Purge, obviously our, you know, big damaging skill. You want to pick that up. Ethereal Dance is part of the Nimbus Stride, so this is one of the attacks you can use to get out of Nimbus Stride and attack people. It does have a stun and it's a super armor, so it's a very good skill. So I put some points into that and I eventually absoluted it for the extra damage. Now, this is one of the reasons why you want to get to level 60. Absolute Sapori Purge, it becomes a beast. It becomes a much stronger skill than the regular version. So getting to level 60 is very important as a Lahn, because you want to do as much damage as possible. And so yeah, so you want to absolute it when you eventually can. Now Fragment Stigma, I maxed this skill out, and I eventually absoluted it because I had, you know, enough skill points to do so. So it's a good skill. It knocks people down. It comes out of your Nimbus Stride, and you attack down, and it can stun, I mean not stun a person, it can actually knock down your opponent. So it's a very good skill to use to catch your opponents off guard. Morning Dew, now I only got this to level 3 because you are required to have it for your Rabam skills. So eventually when you get Rabams, you want to have that maxed out. Cymbidium, it's a great pre-awakening skill. I use it still to this day, and so I maxed it out and eventually absoluted it. Now for PS4 players, you guys have used this skill 3-point stipple and flow 4-point splatter a lot in your pre-awakening. You don't have to focus on this anymore. I don't use it anymore now that awakening is here, so I just didn't put any points into this. Spring Breeze, you definitely want to put points into that. That is our forward dash for pre-awaken. So the more gap closer, the more distance you can get away to run away. It's a very good skill, so you want to ultimate it and absolute it. Crescent Barrage is also a skill that you PS4 players will be using pre-awaken. I don't use this skill anymore, so I keep it at level 1. Blooming Nether Flower. Now this is a skill that you use in pre-awaken. It was a good skill then, but it's not a good skill anymore. Well, I can't really say it's not a good skill because it's still a really good skill. It does, you know, do its damage at max level, but it's very expensive skill to max, and so I kept it at level 1. I didn't really see any use for it, so yeah, I kept it at level 1. When Orchid, I kept this at level 1. I didn't put any more skill points into this. If you saw my previous video, I didn't put a skill point into it at all. It's just slow. So yeah, I pretty much ignored it. Flow Sacred Dance, you want to max this out. This is a very strong pre-awakening skill, just like Sapori Purge. You definitely want to use this skill. Now, our passives, if you have enough skill points for it, you want to max them out. I have enough skill points to max it out, so that's what I'm going to do. But you want to be smart with your skill points, so if you don't have enough skill points, you don't have to max out your passives, but eventually you will. So I'm going to max this out. Your next passives is the passive that you want, plus HP. You definitely want that. That's very helpful. So you want to max that out when you can. Skilled Hunters, you want to max that out when you can as well. And you have more AP against monsters. It's very good for PvE, so you can kill monsters a lot quicker. Now, on to the Rabam skills. Now, these are the skills that completely change the game a little bit more. It combines 2 skills together, and so yeah, so we're gonna go over those really quick. So we have Eye of the Blood, Phoenix Chase, White Heron, excuse me, and Cymbidium Trail. Now, you can only choose 2, so you have to really decide between them. So Eye of the Blood is it's a bound, and it knocks down the target, I believe. It's a really good skill. it's a shorter cooldown than Phoenix Chase, but personal preference really. It's up to you. But I went with Phoenix Chase because I like the stun more than the bound. So even though the cooldown's a lot longer, I still like this skill a little more. But that's my personal opinion. So you can choose to use Eye of the Blood if you want, but I went with Phoenix Chase. Now these are our last two for bomb skills. So White Heron is the skill that you want to go for. It's just an overall better skill. It offers better protection. It's a forward guard. It's just really good skill, and that's what I use to this day. Cymbidium Trails, a super armor. You know, it's all right, but White Heron offers more protection, so I went with White Heron. All right, so we went through all of the skills. I have 21 skill points left over. So yeah, I do want to clarify. So most Lahn players, when they get their awakening, they tend to not use pre-awakening anymore because they're so focused on their awakening skills. Now, if you want to be a really good Lahn player, you have to prioritize both the pre-awakening and the awakening skills. It's very important to utilize both. You don't want to gimp yourself and just use awakening all the time. You want to have a lot of options to help you win in a fight against other classes. So utilizing both pre-awakening and awakening is very important. You can see my ring menu bar down here. It's not really how you can set it to where you want to set it. Unfortunately, we have to have I have it, you know, it's ugly. Man, Lahn uses a lot of skills in the ring menu. It's not fun to see, but hey, we got to do what we got to do to be successful. So yeah, so we have the Phoenix Chase on my ring menu, White Heron, Sapuri Purge, Sacred Dance, Blade of Blood, and Spring Breeze, and Vice. Those are the skills that I use on my ring menu. Very important to me. I use them in every fight. I even use them in PvP, PvE. I use all of them. I use them in every altercation that I get myself in. And so yeah, this is your awakening skill guide. I hope this has helped you, you know, set yourself up for success in your journey as a Lahn player. If you have any questions, please do let me know in the comment section. I am always here to help. I like answering questions. I'm willing to help. But yeah, I'm going to make a combo guide in the next video to further explain the skills and combos that how to use all the skills together and how they come together. And so yes, look forward to that, and you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching.